Good morning, good morning, good morning. You're listening to First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
My name is Paul B. He's Buddy to God. Thanks for joining us on this Monday, Memorial Day, the 25th of May,
Yeah.
2026. Yep, 7 o'clock if you believe in the concept of time. We got lots to talk about today for sure. And yeah, hopefully you're up with us on this
Man.
day off. If you're taking the day off. Yeah. We got lots to talk about today. Let's go ahead and fire up the show.
Yeah, let's start the show. Definitely got a lot to talk about.
First Sky Omaha. In the morning. Money. Once again, thanks for joining us early this morning on the 25th of May, 2026. Yeah, it's his First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
Sorry to cut you off there, buddy, but when the button is pressed,
it's pressed.
It's going. It's going.
Hey.
That's how we're trying to do this. We're trying to do this morning. I'm having a little rough morning. Definitely feeling the pollen in the air and all that good stuff. But the weather's been nice. If you're out here in Omaha, how's the weather out there in Atlanta? Or you're not?
Yeah. I don't know.
So
I don't know. I wouldn't know.
You wouldn't know this time. But he is in town. I almost forgot this morning. That's what kind of morning we having.
Yeah, probably got you real messed up. Call him Paul Lynn. Yeah, but that wind was definitely whipping yesterday. The sun was out, but it was quite breezy yesterday. Yeah. But I am glad it's heating up though. It was kind of cool late last week, so to see the sun come out, see things heating up, I'm here for it. For it.
Most definitely, and we were definitely outside this weekend too. Let us know about what you guys did this weekend. There was lots that went on. Of course, we used Monday to talk about a little bit of that. What kind of fun?
Yeah.
All that good stuff.
Man, definitely got me a plate yesterday. Anybody, I see Marlon with the 3-plate crew coming through. You get a plate yesterday? You celebrate Memorial Day? What y'all do?
Yeah, let us know. And of course, we have a special guest coming on today as well. I don't know if you guys saw at the top of the show, Brother Qasim is coming through. It's time to check up in with him on what's going on, all things Black Agenda Alliance and otherwise. And just to catch up with him, man, see what's going on with him. We got some special questions for him today when it comes to the businesses that he's running. This is Follow the Money season 4B. And we talk a lot about taking care of our own, doing for self. That brother is the epitome of that. So we'll be talking to him. Get your questions ready about everything that's happening and coming soon. Still working with the kids, boost to the roots as well with them guys. I got me thinking about what's happening next season. Next season is teamwork makes the dream work. So we're going to be talking a lot about coalition building. We'll talk a lot about mutual aid. There's mutual aid meetings and things going on around town, even right now. I think that's going to be a big part of the coalition building piece. So, we're kind of making that transition as we wind down this season. We only got only a few more episodes left before we get out of here for the break. So stay tuned for that, and stay tuned for some dates on events that's going on over the summer break as well. And love to hear about what you guys are planning on doing this summer. Lots happening. So it's that talk is getting ready to come up as well. We got to talk a little bit about all these festivals coming up and the things going down. So we'll definitely be talking this next few shows. In the chat already getting up. Appreciate that good Monday morning and mad love from Las Vegas. Man, how fast was this weekend? You're right, Pops, went by pretty fast. Marlon Harrison said, "Good morning, First Sky family. Happy Motivational Monday, everyone." Right on. Kimmer Snipes gives us a good morning. Good morning to you. Appreciate the workshop that you had going on. We'll talk about that a little later on. Also, Michelle Moreno, she gives us a good morning, everyone. Michelle Moreno threw one of the biggest graduation parties I've seen in Omaha. We have to talk about that.
Yeah.
Real. Also, RG is in the chat. Morning, y'all. Appreciate everybody getting up early with us for sure. Kimmer says, "I went to church, then Jackson's Fair deal, and came home and tired to relax." I heard that. That sounds like a good thing to do on a weekend for sure. If you got some relaxing in there, also get down having some good food. That's what's up. She says Saturday was a long day. Yep. Hear that? Too fast, Pops. Yeah, man. Weekend flew by for real. Yeah, we'll definitely jump into some of the things that's happening. There was just a lot. There was a lot over the weekend, of course. Like I was explaining about that party, and my man Ant graduated. Check him out, rocking
Hey,
the Sky Omaha shirt. Yeah, man, class of 26. It's a trip. 2026, the class. I'm still tripping on these dates. But yeah, awesome party. Michelle Moreno threw an awesome party. I walked up, the street was closed off. I said, "Say what? You doing it big like this?" I'm hearing smooth jazz floating in the air, man. Turned out Chaz Stoner was on the saxophone. I was like, "What's happening?" Yeah, man. Yeah, we'll get into it. We'll get into it. Matter of fact, let me show you a little bit of. I'll just show you a little bit of a video that got posted real quick.
hey.
Yeah, man, it was pretty awesome. I'll give it to him. It's pretty awesome. Hold on one second. Let's see if we can get this going. Yeah,
Some Iceland chill. We got some security here. It's all safe.
check this out, bro. Corvette Club outside. I mean, several tents. Yeah,
Got the music going on.
yeah, bro.
Mm.
So as you can see, it went down. It went down. It wasn't no regular graduation party. It went down.
That
Uh,
was a party. That was
it was a party.
a
And a lot of good food, a lot of good fellowship. It was just good, man. It was good to see a positive, get to go check out a positive thing. A young brother feeling some love from the community. It was straight up, man. Ran into Pastor Ballard out there. Johnny No Good did a poem. I mean,
man.
it was a complete party. So yeah, appreciate you inviting us, and I appreciate that young man right there making his way, man. You know what I'm saying? It's always a good thing. We get bad news, young people getting in trouble, things happening. So it's always good to be able to celebrate when a young man does something right, something good. Especially with how hard it is. I can imagine how hard it is to even graduate these days. The way the
Man.
school system is and everything, and everything that's been going down that we've been hearing about. So for somebody to get through them 4 years, something else.
I can't even think about going to school just with the shooting drills and like having to, social media the way it is now, like having to deal with some of the stuff these young folk have to deal with. Definitely big shout out to brother Anthony and the community coming through. Also, when I see that, I think about the saying, when the child doesn't feel the warmth of the village, they burn it down to feel the warmth. But when you got the opposite, you see, people soar when they feel the love and they feel the embrace of the community, man. So definitely
Yeah.
excited to see what brother Anthony got next.
Man, he's gonna look back on this and be like, "Man, the whole city came out for me." I know he gonna feel it, man. That's
Yeah,
what's
yeah,
up.
yeah, yeah.
Appreciate that. Appreciate your efforts, Michelle, for real. Michelle, if you're still in the chat, really appreciate your efforts with not just with your family, but in the community. Yeah. Friend of First Sky Omaha for sure. Man. And also you had me thinking about the 30 weeks of summer with your party. Like you brought back Assembly of the Saints parties with your party. So that was what's up. Most definitely. Kimber's giving Michelle congratulations. There you go. Judy Prinzler in the chat says back from celebrating my aunt Bonnie's 97th birthday in Wisconsin.
Hey, okay.
Love that. Yeah, that's what's up. Yeah, I'm glad glad you're able to do that.
Mm-hmm.
That's quite the age to be able to celebrate. That's what's up. RG says, speaking of that graduation party, if you're of a certain age, K Swiss classics aren't meant to be worn all day long. The 3 plate crew was definitely in the house. The food was good. It was good. It was a good time overall for sure. Marlon says a lot of chat chimers were at Anthony's graduation party. Yep.
Man, that's what it's about.
For sure, for sure. That's what's up. So yeah, appreciate everybody that went out. Again, let us know what else you guys did over the weekend. If there was times that you guys got together. I know that there was a day party over at the Elks yesterday. If anybody went to
Ah,
that, let me know how that went. Yeah, and of course, Dreamland Park. They got the live music going on every Sunday over there. The jam session from 5 to 8. So I passed by. There was tons of cars out there. It was real busy. Lots going on the Deuce, especially. Really cool. So yeah. Heather Williams gives us a good morning, everyone. Yeah, let us know some of the things that you did. Also, I'll jump in while we're talking about it here. I'll jump a little bit into some of the community updates that are going on because we do have a few of them to talk about. Not too many, but a few of them. Of course, don't forget, speaking of the Deuce, Noma Fest is going down. Tickets are available now. Just go to Noma's website and get those. But heavy hitters in the jazz world, past and present. and
Yeah.
you definitely should check this out and see what's going on with this. I heard there's some riverfront jazz going on again. Shout out to Tim Clark, reminiscing about the Riverfront Jazz and Blues Festival. Yeah, man, they're bringing some of this back, and I think this is going to be a huge thing for the city right here. So definitely check this out if you get a chance, for sure. Also, don't speaking of Assembly of the Saints, don't forget about their summer camp that's going on June 2nd through the 30th. It's a free camp, hands-on STEM, gardening, food lab, games, and skill activities for ages 5 to 12. If you have any kids 5 to 12 in that age range that you want them to come through, have some activities to do over the summer, register today. Go to AOS Camp UpSavvySolutions.com. Check it out. You can always hit up the page, Assembly of the Saints, as well. And for those of you that already know Pastor Ballard, hit him up. Let him know that you want to sign up, and I'm sure he'll give you the instructions to do so. So shout out to Assembly of the Saints for doing something big for the kids as well. Love it, love it. Also, Coffee with Developers is coming up May 30th. Shout out to everybody who's putting this on. This is founded by Elena Nichols. If you remember, she came on to the show. We had a good conversation with her about some changes and some things that needed to be done around town and why she was putting this Coffee with Developers up together. But definitely check this out. Engage with local development leaders, share ideas, strengthen community connections. If you really want to get in on the ground floor of what's being built in North Omaha and who's the players behind it and some of the funders behind it as well, this is a good room to be in. Come shake some hands, rub some elbows, do all that stuff, and come through to Coffee with Developers Saturday, May 30th from 9 to 10:30. And this will be at 2205 North 24th Street on the Deuce right there. So come on through, check it out. Appreciate her putting that together for sure. A couple more things that's going on. Omaha Refugee Week is something that I've heard of before. So this is coming up June 14th to June 21st. As you can see, there's a few things happening there, a few activities all through that time frame. I guess this is kind of a Juneteenth type of situation here too. Lots going on during Juneteenth, but this is something that I hadn't seen before. They got art walks happening, certain talks going on. World Refugee Day is in the middle of this. We'll be celebrating World Cup Week. So yeah, Refugee Week is going down. I want some more information on what's going on here, but there's a lot. Looks like a lot of support and a lot of things going on in this time frame. So we'll dig more into that as we go. Very interesting thing. Also, 100 Black Men. I don't know if you know about this organization, but 100 Black Men do a lot of mentoring in our neighborhoods as well. And they're having an informational session coming up on the 26th. So this is happening tomorrow. Real Men Giving Real Time. It's going to be at the Happy Hollow Country Club, and you should definitely give them a call. Let me see if there's something down here below. Definitely give them a call at 402-934-7065, or you can go info at 100blackmenomaha.org. So 100 Black Men is an organization that's all over the country, really, and this is the Omaha chapter. And there's a lot of good brothers in there doing some good work. They always are calling for more mentors. It's kind of a mentorship situation here. So they're always calling for that. And they like to focus on people, professionals, people who have careers and professional careers and things like that they can kind of motivate their mentees on career paths and stuff like that. So definitely check it out. You can also check it out if you want to join. You can also be a part of it too. Join a brotherhood committed to helping our youth reach their fullest potential through mentorship, leadership, and service. So definitely check them out. Shout out to 100 Black Men for doing their thing as well. And also the Bay, our partners over there at the Bay, doing good things out there in Benson as well. They got a whole summer thing going on too. Youth Open Skate that happens every Thursday through Saturday. Youth Art Market. They're teamed up with BFF over there in Benson to do the art market on June 5th. Of course, we have our first Friday coming up as June begins. Also, no youth open skate and plus gaming closed for Juneteenth. So they're honoring Juneteenth by having their operation closed that day. So for people to be able to celebrate that. And then there's Popsicle Skate Night going down. It runs monthly on the last Thursday. You got to register for that, but it's coming up June 30th as well. So we'll be checking in with the Bay guys over there to see what they got going on, some of the programs they got going on. If we're always talking about something to do for the youth, and keep the youth busy with some activities. And the Bay has been really good for that, especially for kids that don't do the traditional sports. They don't necessarily play basketball, football, they're kind of into some alternative things, maybe some skating, maybe some gaming, that type of thing. So they're putting things together for kids to dive into as well. And as we spoke earlier, we're going to be talking to Brother Qasim, who's of course got the Urban Survival Club, and they got some certain activities that they're pushing with the youth too. So I feel like between all of our partners, every kid will find something interesting to be able to do that's right up their alley to do as well. So shout out to the Bay for being a part of that too. Speaking of Juneteenth, the parade's coming up with the UNO Black Studies Parade, June 5th, June 13th. This is kind of some of the beginnings of some of the things that I'm seeing happening around Juneteenth, and this is one of them. Shout out to UNO Black Studies. This is going down on 24th and Lake, ends at 24th and Sprague. So they're going to be the ones that's hosting the parade at 10 o'clock on June 13th. We'll get more information on Juneteenth coming up shortly as well. And if you have any information too, if you're part of the team that's putting on Juneteenth, if you're part of the team that's putting on any event and any festival that's going on during the summer, let us know. Hit us up. We would love to talk to you about it more, and also post it there on Friends of First Sky Omaha on the Facebook page, if you will. Right on. Ariel's 402 is at the chat. Good morning. He says, thank you to the founders of Memorial Day. We'll be talking about the founders of Memorial Day as well. Yeah, nice, Mir Sanchez. Nice. Pop says, hey, when I get to Omaha, the first thing I'm doing is joining the 3-plate crew. I was going to get down. Yeah, I'm already thinking when you come to Omaha, I already think about the taco joints we're going to hit first for real. Ariel's 402 says, I'm too old to be wearing flat bottom shoes, man. MBKs ain't no joke. Pops, the initiation for 3-plate crew is we all got to witness you tackle 5 plates. Wait a minute. You're just adding on some rules around here. Rico Klein's in the chat giving us a good morning. Sky family, happy Memorial Day. Peace. That's what's up. Also, Michelle Moreno saying Assembly of the Saints. Yeah, we got to tap in with them for real. Matter of fact, they got a podcast that they got fired up now. And they just talked to Joanna. We'll be talking about that in a minute as well. And also, Kimber says One Omaha will be doing neighborhood needs assessment co-design session with Black Agenda Alliance participants in NOMA in a few weeks. Can't wait to hear about that. For sure. Appreciate you. We do have some things to be talking about today here on this Memorial Day, so we'll hand it over to Buddy to talk about what today's thread is while I get myself together here with a little drunk tip. Man, it's been a rough time this morning, for real. What's going on? What's on the agenda today, buddy?
Well, actually, a few people already are touching on a couple of the things. Definitely shout out to Mayor Sanchez, Brother JR. You definitely want to get into the history, the really forgotten history of Memorial Day on this day. So, yeah, thanks for kind of teeing that up and talk about it in the context of today's guest, as far as Brother Qasim Shabazz, as Paul B mentioned earlier. Looking at what they're doing with the Black Agenda Alliance and all of the endeavors, enterprises that he's getting into, not only building his own empire, building his own thing, his own situation. Well, not really his own. It's for the community, it's for the people, but definitely doing it piece by piece and protecting it. So I definitely want to talk about what that means, what that looks like in the greater scheme of things. Also, in that vein, I do want to give a shout out, some light to Sister Kimra. Again, talking about the One Omaha Black Agenda Alliance teaming up for the needs assessment, but she again facilitated a workshop over the weekend in partnership with the Black Caucus. So big shout out to Sister Kimra. And I also want to give a shout out to Brother Preston Love Jr. and what he's doing with the Visitor Center, which housed that workshop. I was actually able to check that out myself. Ran into some family out there. So yeah, if you've seen that picture floating around, shout out to the McGaws and shout out to the Visitor Center, man. We're definitely going to talk about also what that may mean monetarily for the community as far as tourism dollars, and really continuing the conversation we've been having here on the show about not necessarily commodifying, but controlling, managing, and benefiting from our own culture the way that other people do from our culture. So we'll definitely continue to talk about that, especially on this day of Memorial Day in its forgotten start, if you will. But in other news, also following the money here on this season. So we'll definitely be looking at some things statewide and what that really means for us, our bottom line, as again, there's a lawsuit coming out at the state level of Governor Pillen and his administration, looking at using some money as a piggy bank is the terminology being thrown out there. So we'll definitely talk about that. And again, put that in perspective, put that in context as far as what we gonna do tax dollars being stolen. We got to build our own systems, y'all. So we're going to talk about it here for the next 2 hours. As always, if there's anything we're missing the mark on, dropping the ball on, some news we're not touching on, definitely feel free to, jump into the chat. Let your mind be free. Let your voice be heard. In the meantime, between time, we're a little behind schedule, but it's all good. Paul B.
Yo.
What's the word? What's the word?
Yeah, let's go ahead and jump into a break. We'll come back and jump into these conversations. Again, you're listening to First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
I'm Paul B. He's Buddy the God. Stay tuned, y'all. We'll be right back.
Yeah. Let's go. Untamed. Wake up. Yeah. Wake up. Wake up, 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 wake up. Wake up, 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 wake up. You better wake up from this dream. Life is not what it seems. This culture's not your reality. You better unplug or be a casualty. Cause the life that we lose in the drugging and boozing is keeping us off from our greatness. We gotta spread the love and stop hating. Then rearrange these front pages. From murder and death to building our wealth. We moving in stealth.
Get ready, Omaha. Join us for the Omaha Freedom Festival, a free, family-friendly celebration of Juneteenth on June 13th at Miller Park. Enjoy free food, community resources, and family fun from 12 to 5 p.m. Play basketball, kickball, dance, activities for all ages. Enter for a chance to win great prizes. Download your free day pass now at omahafreedomfestival.com. Celebrate freedom, family, food, and fun. The Omaha Freedom Festival. Everyone's invited and everything's free.
Welcome back. First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
Paul B. Buddy the God. Man, Juneteenth's about to go off. Shout out to Freedomtainment for putting these events on. And as you heard there, you can go to their website and get your free passes for this. It is the day that they take the kids out. Man, there's all kinds of giveaways and stuff going on, all kinds of activities for the kids. Highly suggest you tap in and get busy over there on the 13th. They've kind of coordinated with what's going on with the parade so that you can kind of hit the parade and then go hit this festival afterwards. And you're trying to incorporate the whole day there. And then, of course, a little later on that night, there'll be this Carrie Hilson and Life Jennings will be performing in the evening. So it's like take the kids out, then take them over to the babysitters and come out and get your party on. It's going down. Man. Yeah. We'll try to get Calvin in before we get out of here. Before we got so many guests coming up here, man. It's gonna be a packed week of guests again. So I might have to start doubling up the guests towards the end. But we'll get there. In the meantime, between time, let's go ahead and get busy. Pops is already setting up. He said 5 plates, no hill for a climber. I guess he got it.
Hey, don't tempt me with a good time.
I feel for everybody. RG and Michelle Moreno said, "Yeah, I'm past wearing cute shoes. I'm too old, bro." Everybody's feet was hurting at the end of that day, for real. RG says, "When I got back home from the party, my hips and legs was crying." It is what it is, bro. We feel it, but I just highly, just super happy that we were all able to come out there and make it. And that's what got me, man. Just trying to show a young man that the community's out there for him. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what it was about.
Yeah, goes a long way when the community comes together. You know what I'm saying? And that's really what it's all about. That's what we all about here, trying to push some solidarity, which is why I wanted to start off today's episode with some love for Sister Kimra and again what went down also over the weekend, because it was a lot going down over the weekend. Shout out to Brother Bill King, who was doing this thing over the weekend as well. I got to pull up on him and see his facility. But the point in all of that, with Brother Bill King, with Sister Kimra, with the visitor center is, don't look, but North Omaha is building. North Omaha is growing, and we got to talk about that on today. In this Memorial Day, looking at how far we've come, how far we've gone, and how much further we have to go. So again, big shout out to Sister Kimra, who posted on Friends of, as she facilitated the second strategic planning session for the Nebraska Democratic Black Caucus, which is again something we've been asking about, trying to figure out what the Black Caucus is doing, especially in this time when it seems like the country is taking several large steps back into the era of Jim Crow. If you can actually pull that picture up, I do want to give a shout out also to Brother Mike Lee, as you see back there, and Senator Terrell McKinney, also getting involved, rolling up their sleeves, and putting together this strategic plan. Which again, we have brother Qasim Shabazz, who is one of the founders of the Black Agenda Alliance, which is definitely all about coming up with a plan specifically for Black folk, for our people. Because man, as I mentioned, we're taking strides in the wrong direction in this country, and it's time to make that happen. So again, big shout out to Sister Kimra, who isn't just about talking the talk, but also walking the walk of 5 hours worth. So yeah, I see you putting in the work. She will be having another session. So if you are interested in getting involved with this, because I know a lot of y'all out there very vocal, but the voting number is not really showing the activity. So again, get out there, definitely get down. As she mentioned, when you get that needs assessment going with Nona, thanks for correcting us, the North Omaha Neighborhood Association or Alliance, definitely let us know about those dates, because again, we need the plan. We need the plan. We need to be coming together as we'll unfold throughout today's show. There's several attacks on several letters or levels, and it is kind of interesting. Organizations that are identifying, looking for Black folk, doing for Black folk, for us, by us, FUBU, under attack, man. Under attack. So
big time.
Yeah, we'll definitely be talking about that. Paul, chat.
Yeah.
What say you?
Yeah. Also, I just love what she posted here. She said yesterday I had the opportunity to facilitate the second strategic planning session. 5 hours for the Nebraska Democratic Party Black Caucus. For as long as I've been involved with the caucus, I honestly can't remember us ever doing a full strategic plan process like this before. Could be the new energy in the room and some of the folks that you got there as well. And I appreciate that. There was a lot of comments on Friends of First Sky Omaha about the Black Caucus and what they've been able to do, the change in leadership, all the things that's been going on, and even some of the people that have been a part of it coming back and saying we didn't get anywhere with it. So sounds like somebody getting somewhere with it right now. Shout out to Mike Lee. Shout out to what Kimra is involving you guys in. She said, I put a lot of work into designing the facilitation because I wanted this to be more than just another meeting. Wanted us to really think about where we're going, what we want to build, and what is going to take to strengthen our work long term. So I'll definitely go back and check it out. You can see some of the people that were involved. Of course, it went down at the North Omaha Visitor Center, which we'll be talking about here a little bit in a little bit as well. A very important spot I've been calling Black City Hall these days because of what happens over there. We'll be talking about it. But shout out to her. You can read the rest of her statement over there at Friends of First Sky Omaha, or you can go to her page and read that as well. But yeah, shout out to all the work that you did there and bringing these heads together. I see Peyton Zyla in the room. Yeah. Appreciate you bringing everybody together and going through it. We know that when you come up with a comprehensive plan, it's well studied, well thought out, well researched, and well planned. So I appreciate you bringing that together, and I can't wait to check out what more you got going on there with it. For sure. With that, we'll go ahead and move on. Jump into the chat. Anybody in the chat? Yeah, it's Kimmer. She says for that. But I will let her know to get in touch with you. We want to make sure. I'll see what you guys are talking about. Something here.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure.
Yeah, you guys. Yeah, talking to each other. That's cool. That's cool. She said this isn't the neighborhood needs assessment. This is us designing what will be in it.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, very cool. Very cool. Can't wait to hear the report from that. What you guys came up with. It'll be interesting to hear and interesting to see. So there you go. Ariel's 402, before we move on there, says everyone needs a cash gig, something that pays you cash so you can be your own IRS, save the cash, and report the receipts. Yeah. Always coming with the good ideas for the hustles and the side hustles and the savings of the money. This is the follow the money season. We do have to talk about those things because even when we build something, it seems to be under attack a lot of times. So we
Man, but we got to continue to build. Actually, you talked about the visitor center. I do want to dive into that, following the money aspect of it, because again, shout out to Brother Preston Love Jr. The visitor center is definitely one of the first places I've been able to visit and check out. And Paul, you ain't lying, man. Black Town Hall, man. Like we were in there for not 30 minutes before people started rolling through. You never know who you're going to run into, what kind of, conversations, what kind of, partnerships, what kind of organizing can be done in a space like that. So big shout out to Brother Preston Love Jr. Can't underestimate, the value of third places. We've been talking about it here on the show, especially last season with Space is the Place. And it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing to see a real space and place come out of that season. And now here we are in this season of following the money. and setting up for the money with these spaces and places.
Mhm.
One of the biggest things is looking at the spaces and places, and this is something that Sister Kimra talks about a lot as far as assets, community-based assets. What in your immediate area can be viewed and used and turned into an asset. And this building, which was for a long time, it was Drip's coffee shop, and then for a minute it was sitting dormant and sleep and empty, falling apart. And here comes new life. Here comes new life, man. And again, big shout out to Brother Preston Love Jr. what he's doing with that. I was actually Paul, you showed me the pictures and all the meetings that have already taken place. He has a booklet of meetings. Man, that booklet's already pretty thick of
Yeah.
all the meetings and all the things that are happening there. Also, we were sitting there, all the people coming through on the state passport program,
Mhm.
again, falling through, visiting North Omaha. So again, there's a lot of opportunity with this visitor place, and not just again us using it for our meetings and organizing, and not just again people outside the community using it as a marker, as a hub, as a location to visit, to actually again interact and enter the community. But some money opportunities as well from the state level. Of course, we were talking about, I think last month there was a move to try to get the visitor center recognized on the tourism level, which was actually why those part of the passport program again were able to come through and see the visitor center, as it is a part of that passport program list. If you don't know about that, the state tourism has a program where visitors of the state, or even residents of the state, can go to several locations, get a stamp on their visitor passport, get certain prizes. Which actually, it is kind of interesting. Some of the prizes they get is free lotto, which we'll get into where that lottery money goes and what's being done with some of that lottery money, piggy
Mm.
bank style, a little later on. Yeah, it's funny. Follow the money, man. Follow the money. Very interesting.
I would have
But
never thought of that as a prize. That's interesting.
yeah. They're giving away scratch offs as a prize for this passport program.
Come on,
But
dude.
anyway, yeah,
Scratch
yeah.
off? Come on.
Yeah. That's beside the point, though. I definitely want to get into some of the big dollars that are going out in regards to Nebraska tourism, and again, how we can look at North Omaha as an asset, especially what's going on with the Malcolm X Memorial Foundation grounds and some of the other assets that exist in North Omaha. Again, this is reported by Nebraska Examiner. International volleyball event that could be coming to Omaha and Nebraska City based visitor center are recipients of state grants awarded by the Nebraska Tourism Commission. Two grants totaling about $325,000 were included in the state budget bill approved by the Nebraska legislature this past session. Of the total, about $175,000 of it was awarded to head to Omaha Sports Commission to support branding efforts related to potential volleyball events in 2027. According to the website, the final rounds of the Women's Volleyball World Championship are to be held in Anaheim, California, but 4 additional host cities across the U.S. and Canada have yet to be confirmed for pool play. Around 16 matches, and Omaha is on that list. And of course, this is a huge thing as far as an international or national volleyball tournament and competition coming to Omaha. But this goes right back to, again, the conversation we were having with Brother Dana Murray last Friday, or Friday before last, actually, when we got into, again, the need for hotels, the need for restaurants, the need for other assets in North Omaha specifically. So when we have things like Noma Fest, coming to North Omaha, that we can have our stars and we can have our visitors visit and stay in North Omaha. So again, as we continue to build, and we'll dive into this throughout the show, not only building but protecting what we build is something we have to definitely think about as well. But in the meantime, between time, Paul B, again, you've been frequent in the visitor center. You've been kind of seeing the growth, seeing the potential. What say you?
Yeah, most definitely. It's something that was really needed, but it wasn't. We didn't know how bad it was needed until it really happened. So when you say there's a book full of meetings, it's not just meetings; it's super important meetings. It's Jewel Rogers trying to get a bill passed, trying to get people together to get a bill passed or get a bill fought. It's Senator Terrell McKinney coming in talking about the agenda of what was going to happen next. I'm sure that there's been elections that have that have already been, well, seats that's already been won, or in the primaries, because of some of the conversations that's been happening in those rooms. So it's not just the level of events going on there, but it's also the caliber of events that's happening over there. and it's just such a needed situation. First of all, and even on the basic level, just for us to have a coffee shop on the Deuce and 24th and Lake, we've been somebody been calling for it for a long time. People have been wanting a coffee shop over there for a while, and now there is one. So a little ecosystem is happening there. Shout out to Jackson's Fair Deal across the street where you can get some food and hop back over. We always get people from the Great Plains Black History Museum in, and that tourism thing. That was kind of this. I think it was like the second time I've seen that tourism situation with the passport really go down. We were sitting in there for a few hours, and there was four or five groups of people that came in with that passport situation. And I think we were there on a weekday, so I can imagine how it is on a weekend. And how many people are coming through there is really interesting. Is the traffic that happens over there too, but not just with our neighborhood and people that are there that we know, but also the tourism side of things. So there's a lot. And speaking to Preston Love Jr. about some of those things, I know that the tourism piece is huge. Also, with Great Plains Black History Museum as well, there was a tourism situation there too. They wound up to be second on the list of places to go. So again, North Omaha, as in general, being a destination spot, has always been kind of the situation we needed, and some of these things are making that happen to get some more traffic there. More traffic means more businesses. More businesses means more income locally. There's a lot that can happen there based on what's happening here. I remember back in the day, me and Manny About Town used to get into arguments about what needs to come first, the housing or the stuff. And it turns out they both need to come at the same time. We need to have more housing.
Right.
We need to have more housing. We need to have more things for people that are in those housings around to do. So seems to be happening all at the same time right now, and I'm looking forward to it.
Definitely exciting. Definitely exciting. So yeah, man, definitely a lot to talk about as far as the growth, the potential. But before we get into that and what needs to be done and thought about as we move into that future, I definitely want to look back for a second on this Memorial Day, if that's all right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, because again, shout out to Mayor Sanchez earlier, again giving a shout out to the founders of Memorial Day, and this is really at the heart of what I want to talk about as far as today, it being Memorial Day and what we're getting into as far as the building, the growth of North Omaha. But of course, this isn't the first time that we as a people, we as a community have built. I mean, we've talked about Black Wall Street. We talked about Rosewood. We talked about communities throughout the history of this country that are built and destroyed. And it seems like that's kind of par for the course in this country, not just communities, but ideologies, laws, things that we fight for being co-opted. And even now, our fight for civil rights and, anti-discrimination legislation is actually being co-opted and used against us, which we'll get into here in a second. But definitely wanted to dive into the history of the history of
Memorial Day.
Memorial Day. Thank you. And where it started, as far as shout out to Time Magazine actually diving into this on the heels of the Civil War, because again, there is a lot of conflict, a lot of going back and forth about where it started. But according to a book by Pulitzer Prize winner David Blight, a book titled Race and Reunion, the Civil War in America, American Memory, a commemoration organized by freed slaves and some white missionaries, took place on May 1st, 1865 in Charleston, South Carolina. At a former planters racetrack where Confederates held captured Union soldiers during the last year of the Civil War. At least 257 prisoners died, many of disease, and were buried in unmarked graves. So Black residents of Charleston, South Carolina, decided to give them a proper burial, and thus the birth of Memorial Day. In approximately 10 days leading up to the event, roughly 24 African-American Charlestonians reorganized the graves into rows and built a 10-foot tall white fence around them. An archway overhead spelled out "Martyrs of the Racecourse" in black letters. About 10,000 people, mostly Black residents, participated in the May 1st tribute, according to coverage back then in the Charleston Daily Courier and the New York Tribune. Starting at 9 a.m., about 3,000 Black school children paraded around the racetrack, holding roses and singing the Union song "John Brown's Body," and were followed by adults representing 8 societies for free black men and women. Black pastors delivered sermons and led attendees in prayer and in the singing of spirituals. And there were picnics. James Redpath, the white director of free men's education in the region, organized about 30 speeches by Union officers, missionaries, and black ministers. Participants sang patriotic songs like America and We'll Rally Around the Flag, and even the Star Spangled Banner. In the afternoon, 3 whites and black Union regiments marched around the graves and staged a drill. So again, remembering the fallen soldiers, those who fought for freedom, those who fought for justice, those who fought in the Civil War, is the birth of Memorial Day. Now, of course, now it's kind of been co-opted to the bastion of Americana, if you will. I mean, Memorial Day is half-staff flags and apple pie and barbecues and all this, all these things that we kind of whittle down to Americana now, as far as just our holidays and just in general American culture. But this sets up the stage for today's conversation, as far as not only, in our community, doing things to remember our community, to build up our community, to honor our community, but how those things are co-opted and in some instances used against us. So
There you go.
here we are.
Appreciate that. This is a good precursor to this conversation that we're gonna have with Brother Qasim here in a minute, because we always get to this point in the show where we talk about what we're gonna do for self, how we're gonna do for self, and so, sometimes we don't we complicate it, even though it's a pretty simple thing. We start our own businesses. We get together. We make sure that we frequent each other's businesses, and stay in community with each other. But then there's a question that happens after that, which is, how do you protect what it is you build? And even and even with Memorial Day, which it was news to me. This was new to me, that it was something that black folks built and pretty much got co-opted, in just like so many other things have gotten co-opted. So I do
Man,
build something and keep it. And when we talk about building something and keeping it, takes me back to Black Wall Street, takes me back to all these other things. Even on the Deuce, they said that it was a kind of a Black Wall Street on the Deuce. Man, 24th and Lake was thriving back in the day in a big way. And then, of course, when things started happening and the disinvestment started, then it got taken away, and it didn't ever rebuild in the way that it needed to. We're just now getting to some of this rebuilding now. But again, even in our own neighborhoods, we have been a part of, or have seen that happen to us, that we build something up and then it gets taken away, sometimes subtly, like with busing and stuff like that will happen here. Sometimes with them dropping literal bombs on the city, like it did in Tulsa, one way or another. Sometimes it turned into displacing a bunch of people and building a lake over a town that black people lived in, or or a park, or Central Park, New York. Look it up.
man.
So one way or another, it happens that way. So how do we build and how do we secure that? And who better to talk about securing things than Captain Q himself, Brother Qasim. So stay tuned. We're going to take a quick break, and we're going to go ahead and bring Brother Qasim in and talk a little bit about what's going on with him, and continue this discussion. If you have any thoughts on this discussion too, please let us know. Put it in the chat. I also forgot to ask you guys, do us a favor, share the show. If you're on Facebook, share the show on your page. If you're on YouTube, then take the link and send it to somebody who you think might benefit from this conversation and add to it. We'll be right back. Stay tuned. You're listening to First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
My name is Paul B. He's Buddy to God. We'll be back with Brother Qasim shortly. Stay tuned.
We have to show them by our actions that we do not intend to play the role that the Jews played.
Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. First Guy Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
My name is Paul B. He's Buddy the God. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm dragging it out because he just jumped up real quick. Hold on. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, maybe a little bit of ado before we get to the guest. And Brother Qasim is joining us. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning, fellas. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam, brother. Peace.
How you
Peace.
feeling this morning, bro?
Man, I'm feeling good. How y'all feeling, man? Good to see the brothers, man.
Good to
Yeah,
see you, man.
Always a
Been a
pleasure.
little minute. Been a little minute. So how's the family? First of all, let's get to that. How's the family doing? How's everything going with you?
Man, everything's strong, man. I'm busy. I'm busy, man. I'm being pulled in all types of different directions, but alhamdulillah, man. So everybody's wonderful. Thank you.
Good.
Yeah. Been seeing you vacationing with the fam and things like that, man. So that's the important things. Enjoying time with the fam. So glad to see you doing that, man. But that balance, I definitely feel you in being pulled in multiple directions. Still showing up, still leading. What it is that you're doing. So let's dive into it and figure it out because you are doing a lot. And I know, Paul, you have some thoughts as far as some of the businesses and how he's doing it. You want to go ahead and take it?
Yeah, man. We always have you on. We talk about what the Black Agenda Alliance is doing. Of course, we got to catch up with you on all things Black Agenda Alliance. But something hit me when I see posts of the stuff that you're doing around town as far as your businesses are concerned. Because we always talk about how to do for self, how we got to figure out how we fund our own situation. And it hit me that the Black Agenda Alliance and those efforts are funded by the things that you're doing in the community with the businesses, where you are running business, you're sustaining yourself, you're hiring folks, you're sustaining other folks, and you're becoming a force there. The Sentinel Force, of course, is the one that a lot of people know about because of you being a personal bodyguard to Bud and all the things that you've been doing around town. Here's a part of the force that went out there. I was looking at the pictures here. Also, Sister Ileana, when she came to town, you protected her. You got your folks there. So we see this out and about all the time, and it just has really hit me about the fact that you own this business. This business sustains you. You hire folks with this business, not also to sidestep strong back movers, but strong back gets down too. You've been getting a whole lot of love from folks around town. I saw this post where people were just bigging up strong back in a big way. And you got a few shout outs for the community. So you're doing some good work. I've worked with you personally with that company, and the company is strong, does some good work. All the brothers is straight up and up, and they handle business, man. So again, congratulations on your successful businesses. And I'm looking at this big picture during this follow the money season where here it is, man. When we talk about what we need to do for us, this is it. So first of all, speak on your businesses and how that sustains you, your life, your family, your friends, and BAA in general. How did you come up with this idea? Let's make these businesses work the way they do.
Well, and I keep getting phone calls, so forgive me if I deviate. Man, it's following the blueprint of the Honorable Marcus Garvey. I came up underneath the teachings of the Most Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. I'm very studied with Powernomics, the book called Powernomics. And I've followed the blueprint, have been there. And these things take time, and rather even when we talk about, the creation story, Allah or God or whatever we choose to call him, said it took himself a period of time to call things into existence. And then so it requires us a deep amount of patience with ourselves and consistency and the understanding that you're going to go through a fire period, and so I've accepted that. I took all of my gifts and my talents and I've created a whole lot of work for a whole lot of people. I got a crew out now. As soon as I jump off the podcast, I got to go out and I have to assist my crew. We got 2-3 jobs in a day. Right now, we're super busy. The community have been extremely supportive in everything that we do. And I hate when people say, "Oh, Omaha," and everything that I've done, all my success have come right here from the support of my community, hands down. I didn't move to Texas or Atlanta, you know what I'm saying, to or wherever to become, who I am today. It all came here, man, the good, the bad, and the ugly. I just never ran from it. So no business grants or loans or any of that, man. Just hard work and promoting and staying consistent. Right now, the moving company, we're ranked number one in Nebraska through Porch Moving. Those are real numbers. Um, Omaha Sentinel Force, Better Business Bureau. We just came back from a 30-man detail. Some call it a deployment. I had to take 30 men down to Minnesota, and we had the Lil Boosie and Ray J bodyguard detail for a 24-hour. They had whatever they had lock in. Took 30 men there, paid for hotel stay, cost, and everything, man. And we worked a 24-hour shift the next day and came home, and people are still eating off that money, So
Man.
just staying consistent, man. And I just really want to highlight following the blueprint of the Most Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, following the blueprint of Powernomics, the Honorable Marcus Garvey. They've already told us what we need to do.
Man, beautiful. That is heavy, but I mean, it's when you see the results, you don't recreate the wheel, and it's happening. It's happening. Just follow the blueprint, like you said. And as you're talking about it, I'm thinking of brothers that I see, selling the bean pies, but also, having businesses, having shops, having restaurants, having, those things that the Marcus Garvey, and you think about the bus situation, or his boats that he owned. Like the blueprint is definitely out there. But I do want to ask this, which is something we've been talking about. Actually, we just recently talked about the NAACP call for athletes to boycott the universities, and one of the biggest things I'm hearing is, well, families got to give up this money, and you expecting families that's been fighting for they're this close to getting these NFL deals and all this money that these people have to give up. And I'm kind of curious, how do you view making money in America while maintaining your black identity and not getting into capitalism and not, doing the things that we see ourselves, have to not talk about Charlie Kirk to keep a job, or have to be okay with the racist university just so we can get an opportunity to play? Like, how do you reconcile that in this country?
If I gather what I'm hearing correctly, I'm being told that the NAACP is telling the athletes to boycott. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. I don't think the NAACP is in position right now in America to speak on such a thing, because of the way that they've transitioned themselves away from truth and uprightness in regard to defending the people. What I will say is, one thing that I've learned throughout this journey, even with with business, there's a certain etiquette that you must have, and some businesses require a little bit more etiquette, right? And so it's like a chameleon, and that's kind of another thing that I've learned. You have to be able to sustain yourself, and sometimes that message is best set on or demonstrated in a particular way, in which and where it's slick. Some things, everything is not outright up front. I totally disagree with the idea of them boycotting. However, I will say that I do feel as if they need to come together and solidify some collectiveness to enhance not only their situation, but people around them that look like they do collectively. You take that money, you take that revenue and that success, and you do something special and unique with it, to the point to where it's really impactful. I don't think that brothers and sisters, because they still work very hard to get to that spot, and it's not their fault that 400 or 500 years of oppression put them in a position in which and where the person that they answer to every day don't look like them. You have to take it, utilize it, and flip it. Look at what Kendrick then done. Look at what J. Cole then done. Instead of them talking about shooting up shit, excuse my language, and all their music, they found a way to slip some allegorical in there, and metaphors, and you have to be able to utilize these platforms in a way in which and where the message is still getting across. So I disagree with the NAACP.
Let me ask you this question from a Black Agenda Alliance perspective. What can we do monetarily to put a hurting on some of the powers that be that are trying to take our history away and so on and so forth? From a Black Agenda Alliance perspective, what will be the action that aside from for the same reasons why NAACP is trying to have a boycott? Like what in your opinion would we do from the Black Agenda Alliance perspective in order to move the needle there with that?
Well, that's exactly what we've done. The Black Agenda Alliance have morphed in to other things. The
Hmm.
Black Agenda Alliance have morphed into establishing businesses.
Hmm.
We have an extremely strong, probably the strongest Black youth program in the state of Nebraska currently. Um, and so, from a Black Agenda Alliance perspective, it would be just that, being able to identify the problem and correcting it through self and hard work,
Building.
you know, building,
Yeah.
because it truly has, the BA. I mean, we bought land a little while ago that we're just now really getting to, but we've been so caught up with other things and establishing ourselves. When we started the Black Agenda Alliance, I wasn't 100% entrepreneur,
Hmm.
and
Right.
now I'm an entrepreneur producing other entrepreneurs.
Right.
And we didn't have the strongest Black youth program in Nebraska. We didn't have any of those things. But we stuck together, we stuck it out, and we stuck to the calling.
Bro, one thing I'm really, really impressed about with you and with the organization, I'm also learning more about Erin Forte as well because I see her around, handling some of the stuff. I'm understanding that your crew really that you're putting together is something really impressive in order to make this move because it's an ecosystem of not just entrepreneurship and business, but also the youth programs are such a part of all that as well. It's not a separate thing like some people might have a nonprofit that only handles youth stuff and then they got their own, then they got their metal business over here or whatever. But yours is more of an ecosystem of built around Black Agenda and the Black Agenda Alliance. And so, to me, it's just as important and part of what you're doing. It's really impressive to see how you navigate your time with having businesses that are growing in this way, but also still having things to do with the youth and having this really large youth program there. So I really appreciate that. As a matter of fact, I was going to show a little bit of a video here of what you got going on with the youth recently on your page. I thought this was
Welcome
pretty awesome.
to the Club of Omaha. First of all, we'd like to take the time to say thank you, community, for your constant love, support, donations, your effort, your time volunteered, your loves, your likes, your shares, and just the way that you've poured into us over the years.
I'm gonna make them. We'll make them go to your page and watch the rest of that. Go to brother Qasim's page, watch the rest of that. But I just wanted to show that image of them young folks out there learn how to throw that pole and make it happen. So again, man, you got two full businesses going on that I know of, and you also are still bringing these kids out here and spending time with them and doing youth program. And it's because it's all an ecosystem. I just really really appreciate that. Can you want to speak to that a little bit?
You know, so back to Erin Forte. Erin Forte is the best. She's the most slept on name in my community from one of the women perspective. There's several women, but she's right there at the extreme top. She makes this thing work the way that it works. And shoot, me and Erin, we on the phone when she not hanging up or cussing me out. We on the phone uh, several times a day. So between her and my queen, it got so heavy to it. It got to a point to where between her and my queen, they pretty much control my life. They have a calendar and they tell me what I can and can't do. And it's really gotten that heavy for me to where it's like everything is scheduled, and I can't move I can't move outside of that. And that's another reason things I'm allowed to do the leg work, you know. Man, I don't some things some things you don't have words for. You given a mission by Allah, and you either choose to show up or not. Um, there's no exhaustion, really, to be honest.
Mhm.
When the stronger your faith is in Allah,
Mhm.
okay, or your purpose, and then just being able to navigate, being able to drown out all of the noise is the biggest thing. Not caring what anyone have to say,
Yeah.
negative, not letting that be a driving. There's so much noise that you have to drown out when you get to a certain point, when you get to a top, and if you're not right mentally, it'll break you.
Mhm.
I don't, I
It'll
don't want
break you.
I don't want to brush past that. That's a huge thought because I see a lot of
Mhm.
people. I work with a lot of people in Omaha that I feel like that's where they'll get hung up. They'll get hung up on what people got to say about them and so on, and they can't move forward for that. That's a huge thing that you just said that you guys that
Mhm.
you do over there in a big way too, man. I really appreciate that. Um, I'm thinking about what it is that you built. We also have this question about how to secure that.
Mhm.
Because we were just talking a little earlier about even the origins of Memorial Day come from Black folks, and things get co-opted every time we make something. How do we protect what it is that we build when we're building?
You have to drive it home morally, and because I'm a Muslim, we're given a particular set of instructions through our Creator on how to keep things intact. And whether we choose to follow them or not is another conversation. But I've done pretty well at not being swayed by money and selling out. And I can get you here a whole lot faster if you do this X, Y, Z, and a third. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Avoiding that and being able to identify the enemy as he presents himself. Okay, you have long term, in which right now, I try to stay very humble and not toot, but we're still standing and strong and extremely strong, and we ain't got uh, not even a decimal of what brothers and sisters are out here getting financially, not even close. And it feels so good, man, because when we enter the room, the conversation looks different because when we come, we're not showing up for uh, with our hands out,
Right.
and so it's a level of independence that I can't explain, you
Mhm. That
know.
freedom. That freedom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
and I think it's important to be able to identify freedom and non-free and being tied to things and not being tied and all those. It's important to identify that.
Most
Man,
definitely.
it is. And important not to like really gloss over that. And taking the harder path and wherein a lot of people, as you mentioned, not only the lack of support will break them, but just understanding the harder path and what it really is ahead and what really takes to get to that point. A lot of people wouldn't want to go down that path, but I will say thank you, for being a face, for being a leader in that regard, because I'm sure over the last couple of years you've been hearing it and getting pushed back, but now that this country is going the direction that it's going, it's kind of interesting. You hold on long enough to see people start to come around, and I don't know if you're getting that, but I'm definitely, I've always seen it, but it's definitely now, where this country is going. You're going the right direction. Like you've had it figured out for a long time, and from what I'm seeing, definitely need to do more of that. As far as how you're viewing where we are in this country, and what I'm saying, are you feeling like, yeah, see, I'm right, I told y'all, or is it just this is the moment, we're prepared, let's go?
No, it's more like, man, I'm happy that we prepared ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
So many people, it was funny because I was thinking the other day, I was like, man, some call me crazy and some call on me for help.
Mm-hmm.
you know.
Mm-hmm.
So it's
Mm-hmm.
like, but now it's like I remember all of those who called me crazy that are now like, damn, you know what I mean? So, but it's not a toot your own horn type of scenario. We're in a very dangerous time. And then it's depending on how you look at it. In my mind, I'm like, alhamdulillah, we here now. It's going to force my people to think for themselves
Yeah.
and take and the veil is no longer, it's no longer in place. So um, I just say alhamdulillah. It's funny because, the Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, he said, even in the last days, plant a seed. You see what I'm saying? Even in the last day, earth could be on fire. You want to plant a seed. You see what I'm
Right.
saying?
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think that is funny. I don't think that our scenario is nothing to be played with. But right now, if our people are ever going to become stronger than what they ever have been, right now is the time. Everything around us is falling down, but those of us that were prepared, we're steadily inclining. We're on anybody around me that I'm that close to, we're on the incline. We're not declining.
That's
You
real.
make your adjustment. You make your adjustments. You get hit with some shit. You make your adjustments, and you keep. There was no blueprint. There's no blueprint that could have been given that was better than that of. I love Powernomics. I think it's Dr. Claude Anderson and the Honorable Marcus Garvey and them. Man, they gave it to you, brother.
Mm-hmm.
They gave you. They told you Malcolm told you everything that you needed to do in his time years ago. They told you. Now, everybody's not listening because they rather take the easier route out. Those are the ones that are suffering.
Mhm. It's just let people know it's 8:06 right now. If you believe in the concept of time, we're well into the second hour with Brother Qasim. Man, it's been a while since you've been on the show, and every time you do come, I think back about the journey that you told me that you have been on, and even your personal journey. And when I met you, you were at a certain point as well. You've already spoken to your previous journey, but for the journey from the time that we met was where you weren't, like you said, you weren't an entrepreneur quite yet. You were still working, doing other things, and you were just building the BAA, just building the entrepreneurship piece of it. You also weren't really political at all, and now I see you on your posts talking about endorsing folks, telling people to get out to vote, all the things that you've been doing. So just the you're on the same path that we are as far as like just our growth and understanding what we can and can't control and what our lanes are. Lanes of change that we've been pushing out there is because we recognize and everybody got their lane, and if we can put them lanes together, then we can form a 75 freeway that cuts right through everything, just like the 75 cut through the north side. And we were and it was because we were paying attention to you and what your lane is and how you stick to that lane and how you are able to work with other people in other lanes. So again, man, just the journey is such a part of what when I'm thinking of you and us. The journey is the movement of the journey is such an important piece, and I love seeing it. And I love seeing the fact that you have kids that you work with that are now grown up, and they're entering school. You had them from a young age, and here they are, growing up, and they had the community around them because of you. So man, I just really appreciate it. Want to give you your flowers all the time, every time I see you, and also to lead me to the next point of what it is that we all can do to keep supporting you and what it is you doing. What's
Man, first of all, brother, thank y'all, man. Thank you guys for believing in us, and thank you for being present. Thank you for being one of the ones that speak truth, and not afraid and not swaying. So for me, to continue doing that, brothers and sisters that a lot of people have come through First Sky to us, through your brother's platform,
nice.
And the other thing that you guys can do is get a mass production of T-shirts. I've been asking for a T-shirt for quite some time now.
Oh, man.
First Guy, man,
My bad.
but
That's
no,
on me.
man, no, you good. So now the community, man, just continue. You guys don't know, the community don't know how far the loves and likes and just the words of encouragement. I stay running into people I ain't never met a day in my life. I can really barely even go anywhere now, and it's just so much love.
Yeah.
And that goes a long way, man. That goes further than any money process. I honestly can tell you that that's been the driving factor for me is the encouragement because we ain't had no money.
Right.
We ain't had no money, man. So um, that's been the motivating factor. So
The
that's
love.
what helps us out. Yeah.
The love. I appreciate it. What's coming up, man? You got anything, any events happening coming up? BA or otherwise, BAA, otherwise, the youth situation. Is flag football coming back? Tell us about what the future looks like.
Man, we looking strong right now. We looking real strong. We done bought these kids uniforms. We do plan to be in the Juneteenth parade this year with our boys. I'm not gonna say
Nice.
too much. We are bringing flag football back. Those conversations are happening now, bigger, stronger than ever. I do plan on doing a Black August celebration this year because that's often skipped over,
Hmm.
and it will more than likely be on the birthday of the Honorable Marcus Garvey. So right now, I'm working on Nori and Rizza, talking to Umar. We're gonna do something real big this year, inshallah. Right.
Man,
Um, we have the Al Islam Omaha study group that we just jumped off. That's real strong right now. I have food distribution coming into the city as we speak. We're out buying freezers and all that so that we can
Hmm.
start distributing food. But we want to get a community whole food. So we will be adopting 20 to 30 families monthly just to start off and delivering the food to them. We will respect their privacy and stuff like that, but we do want to let the community know that it'll be an available option until we're able to scale that thing up. Also, the different essentials for those that are in need. Um, Touching this thing, we plan on having some form of a parenting, um, I don't want to call it school, but dialogue, becoming better parents and stuff like that. So there's a lot of irons in the fire, man. It's a lot of stuff I'm leaving out, but um, man, everything is good, bro.
love
Everything
it,
is
bro.
solid.
Man.
We'll have you on more regularly, man, so you can let us know about some of the things that are happening in the time that they're happening, and be a part of that.
Yeah.
Really appreciate
Mhm.
it, bro. Appreciate you
Yeah, I do
always.
want to say, I do want to say before I jump off. So,
Mhm.
conversations we had in the past, myself and brother Willie Barney and Roscoe and all them, man, we've been building on some things. So
Hey,
we working on tying, we're working on tying some things together so that we can connect the dots and really take this thing over. You know, Omaha has it because we're so small. We do have we have an opportunity to really set an example for the world the right way,
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
there's always been that disconnect between what we're calling grassroots and those who had immediate availability to the resources, and we want to fix that. You see what I'm saying? I
right.
don't know if that's I don't know if that is much as intentional. Now, the more that I learn and in the time that I take to study that whole process, I don't think it's intentional as much as it is as it have been conditioned, you know, into us to operate a particular way, So we're
Right.
trying to break those barriers. So I do want to bring the community some hope in that area as well. And I'd always said that if I establish a relationship with you, it's going to be because it was genuine, not
Mhm.
not because the second and third and fourth party say so and how anybody feel.
Right.
Because you feel like you're right and I feel like I'm right, and then so let's come together and figure out how we can get it done the right way.
Man, reminded me of like just the Willie Lynchisms, separate the old from the young, separate the light from the dark. Like any way they could split us up and separate us, even giving who they find more palatable the money. So the ones who are not getting the money, it's all a tactic. It's all a tactic.
Hmm.
But hey, the only way we got off the plantation was the field and the house working together. You know what I'm
Man,
saying?
That's right. That's right.
yeah. Man, I can't tell you how much we. I mean that's why we exist, bro. Is for us to help facilitate conversations like that. So to hear the update that you guys are all talking is just it's
Beautiful.
incredible. It's what this is. It makes me feel like this is what we do. I mean, obviously this is what we do this for. So
Oh
I
yeah.
can't wait to see what comes of all of our. As a matter of fact, our next season is teamwork makes the dream work. It
Yes,
is the
sir.
coalition building portion of the year for us. So we gonna be reaching out to all partners, all folks. It's like Malcolm coming back from Mecca. It's like I will work with anybody who wants to uplift the black community. Let's put it together, but it got to be the right folks. It got to be authentic. Got to be real.
Hmm.
It cannot be fake like you're explaining right now too. And I think we got a good grasp on who's doing what,
Hmm.
who's working for real, and who's out here for self. And we'll keep on testing that out so that we can make sure that we got the authenticity going with everybody we're working with. You number one on the list, bro. Appreciate all the work you've been
Hey,
doing, and we
Appreciate it.
really got your back for everything you're gonna do for sure.
Thank you.
Right on, bro.
Yes,
I'll let
sir.
you go
Yes,
ahead
sir.
and get to work, man. Tell the team we said hey.
Yeah. Yes,
Yep,
sir.
yep. We'll see you
Appreciate
soon.
y'all. Peace.
Peace and
Yes.
love.
Peace.
Bye.
That's what's up.
Always a dynamic brother right there. Always.
And always coming with, I be doing the research thinking I know everything they got going on over there. They got 10 more things going on than I even suspected all the time.
Man. And I will say, like, the brother is just when I think I got him figured out, where I think I know how he's going to answer a question, he kind of surprises me and answers it a different way. But I appreciate where he always comes from, man. And we're actually going to kind of talk about his NCAA answer and or NAACP answer, and how to protect things. And we're gonna keep this conversation going, man. Definitely big shout out to brother Captain Q.
Hey man, anybody who's on a growth trajectory the way he is ain't never gonna answer the same question twice. He gonna surprise you every time, bro. We'll take a quick break and come back. First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
Paul B, Buddy to God. Stay tuned.
We're turning up the heat for Omaha Freedom Festival's night concert with Carrie Hilson, Life Jennings, and R&B superstar and Grammy-nominated Nivea, hosted by Josh Jones and music by DJ Chang. Don't miss one of the biggest R&B nights Omaha has ever seen. Join us Saturday, June 13th at Gene Leahy Mall Pavilion. Doors open at 7 p.m. Concert starts at 8:30 with fireworks after. Tickets at OmahaFreedomFestival.com or in person at LaFleur's New Look Fashion. Celebrate culture, music, and community at the Omaha Freedom Festival.
Welcome back. First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
Paul B, he's Buddy to God. Highly suggest you go ahead and mark that time on your calendar there. We definitely have some VIP tickets for that Life Jennings, Carrie Hilson show and more. There's more people on that show as well. And there's going to be some VIP tickets given away. Shout out to Calvin Williams over there at Freedom Tainment. We're going to try to get him on before that happens as well. But yes, mark it on your calendar. Even if you don't get the free tickets, definitely plan on going. We think that it's a very, very important step to bring high level artists to Omaha and not make it so that people don't have to go travel out to Kansas City and Chicago and everywhere else to see a high level artist. So it's really important for the growth here in all kinds of different ways and directions, especially in the arts, which we all about, especially in the music, which we all about.
Man.
It's an important thing. So shout out to Calvin Williams. Again, Freedom Tainment is not just doing concerts. I mean, all that day they're going to be doing the thing with the families and the kids and the giveaways. They're also doing the Negro League celebration. So cultural, historical, modern, everything that's going on, and then also some Love Supreme. So they really kind of got it all going on. We'll talk to Calvin Williams here soon, get him on the show and talk about what's going on Juneteenth and so on and so forth. So yeah, man, appreciate everybody who's sticking around with us on this second hour. I hope that you gleaned some good things from our brother Qasim that was just on. If you missed any parts of his interview, you can always go back to YouTube and check it out. And of course, that's the place that all of our previous interviews are as well. So go ahead and check that out. Frequent the page, like and subscribe when you're over there. Appreciate it if you do. Frida Marlin in the chat earlier said, upstanding businessman, talking about brother Qasim. He worked for a young black visionary at Skinner Magnet. Shout out to this black man. That's what's up.
Yes.
Giving him some love. Hello, Qasim from Michelle Moreno. Appreciate that. Ariel's 402. Sorry we didn't get to your question. He says, where does he have to a need for something to complement what he's doing? I think that they probably got that down, man. I think that it's a good question to ask him. He'll have an answer for you. The reason why I say this is because a lot of times we over here at First Sky are trying to figure out how what kind of help we need, and it's a hard question to answer sometimes. But it sounds like between Aaron Forte, his wife, and the rest of the team there, they got some jobs lined out for people to be able to check out, and if and he have a clear answer on how to help. So that's what's up. He says, and the sacrifices of these athletes now will have no lasting effect. Talking about the NAACP asking those athletes to boycott the colleges. Also, Brooke Shalimar's in the chat. Good morning. Appreciate you coming on in. Also, Ariel's 402 says, if you feel like life is like a game of chess, then the most important piece on the board is the queen. Shout out to Brother Qasim. I was happy to be there during the proposal, and I didn't make the wedding, but just to see him and his family coming up is a strong thing, and I fully understand what he's talking about, where he's like, between his wife and Aaron Forte, they got the schedule filled up. Oh, he's just like a soldier. He's gonna go hit that mark, hit that time frame, make that meeting, do the thing, and got it laid out for him. So that's what's up. Appreciate Ibrahim 22K5H coming in the chat. Appreciate you very much. Also, I see Michael Lee coming in saying good morning, y'all. Appreciate you, brother. Essie Jean in the chat. She said, definitely the devil or enemy never says I come to destroy your life. He represents himself as a friend and supporter. Tell the truth. Tell the truth. Arrows 402 says the NAACP should ask those athletes they seek support from to make the NFL and give to the community that's in need the funding for flag football leagues as a route away from the NFL. Mayor Sanchez coming with the great ideas again. Appreciate that. RG says Urban Survival Club is is on the cusp of some big things. Folks need to keep an eye out. What you know? What you know over there, RG? What you know over there? You ain't telling nobody. Keeping it low. Okay. Aeros 402 is alongside the funding back. Someone has to set up management agency from the community to help potentially professional flag football players. I like this idea about the flag football just consortium, not just the teams, but putting the whole business together. I think that's an awesome idea.
Yeah.
Say again.
Speaking of steam, actually, I think flag football will be featured in the Olympics coming up in LA.
What? Really?
Yeah.
I always found there was a certain kind of I don't know the word for it, poetry or it's close to dance to me in a way. The way that the people I used to play flag football. Now I'm thinking about I used to play flag football in high school, and certain way that you move and maneuver is different than regular than tackle football.
Yeah, they actually had a flag football tournament at this year's NFL Pro Bowl, where they brought in like people who play flag football on social media and have gained a kind of a brand and a name in the flag football realm. They played against NFL players in a game of flag football and they won. Like they got them pretty good. Yeah. So it's definitely something.
When the goal is not just to slam somebody and get them down by any means necessary, then you got to float around, float like a butterfly, sting like a bee, a little bit different in the flag football.
Little footwork,
like RG said. Don't sweat the technique. Don't sweat the technique.
Hey.
Brooks said, "I need some tickets." Yeah, you want to see Carrying Life? That's what's up. Ceci Jean says, "You've been asking for a T-shirt for 4 years." You
talking about Brother Qasim?
Oh yeah. I didn't know. I totally lost that. I don't remember him asking for it. I thought he had T-shirts already.
Got to get him right.
We'll figure it out. Areas 402 says flag football is co-ed. A family of 4 can play together. Ooh, I didn't think of that. I didn't think of that.
Yeah.
It sure is. If ain't nobody tackling, ain't nobody knocking nobody out, then everybody can play.
Yeah. Kind of see more sports like that. Pickleball, flag football, you know what I mean? Less aggressive, violent sports and more like family oriented. You're still active, you're still moving, but
you ain't trying to kill nobody and bust their head open. Pop says, the way you have to twist and turn reminds me of playing dodgeball. Yeah, that's what's up. I ain't gonna be out there now. So one twist, this knee is gone. So all days is over.
Twist and shout.
Twist once, shout for a while. RG says, I was about to say that NFL is already cornering the market on big business flag football in this country. Oh, really? He says so that might not be the best alternative. That's really interesting, man. Interesting.
Yeah, there was
before college full contact. Interesting.
Yeah, it was a big deal that fell through between Tom Brady and some of the elites from the Emirates, Arab Emirates, who
Wow.
were supposed the same people who paying for like the golf tournament. If you kind of
Right.
heard about that fell
Mhm.
through, but because of Trump's war in the Middle East, like all those deals are falling through. So it is interesting. There's a lot of interest. There's a lot of money in that, but at the same time, that goes back to the further conversation of what I'm hearing Brother Qasim say, which is interesting as far as getting into the NFL, getting into the music industry, getting into these systems that aren't built or controlled by us, and extracting the funds to build our own systems.
Man,
It's a strategy. It's a
it
strategy.
is. We got to build on that for sure. Appreciate everybody's comments and again, respect for the guests and all the good questions and comments there. We'll definitely have to have them back on soon and talk about it. But in the meantime, between time, we got about 35 minutes left in the show, so we definitely want to jump back into this and tie some of these things up together. You know how we like to dabble in context and understanding what things connect, the connections. So, buddy, what's on your mind? I can see your wheels turning over there. What you thinking?
Yeah, man. We've kind of been teasing as far as looking at some of the things that we have been building and that are under attack, and I definitely wanted to tie that into today's conversation. Starting with kind of the big thing that's been happening over the last several weeks, last several months, of course, the court cases are popping up and moving along in regards to some of these midterm maps and the election situation. And again, our fight, one of the biggest products of again us creating us being African Americans, so-called former enslaved Americans, building and fighting for discrimination, fighting for civil rights, fighting for voting rights, and these things being either co-opted and undermined or completely attacked. And again, the biggest thing, of course, is the attack of the congressional maps that have been happening. Paying attention to some of these court cases that are attempting to set precedent, so more of this activity can move forward. This is being reported by the Alabama Reflector, looking at the Allen versus Milligan case, which again is a case central to this congressional map saga that's been going on in this country. It is actually going up to federal court after last Wednesday. There was a decision to again move forward with the challenge. Again, if you don't know, Allen versus Milligan is an Alabama-based case in which the congressional map for the Alabama midterms is being challenged. There is an attempt to go back to a map that was drawn in 2023 that left Alabama with only one black majority congressional district. And since then, there has been redistricting to allow more of a representation for black voters in Alabama, which actually has one of the largest black populations in the country, if I'm not mistaken. But again, here we are with this moving forward in the case and the challenge. Now going to a federal level. Alabama again says the remedial maps are invalid because they do not meet the interests of the state, which is interesting. This coming from an Alabama Secretary of State who is saying the undisputed claim that plaintiffs' maps and the court's remedial map do not achieve all the political goals of the legislature, particularly the goal of keeping Mobile and Baldwin counties, again, two of the counties in question for black representation, whole and together in one congressional district. Again, this is also coming on the heels of the case out of Louisiana, which is also undermining and possibly leading the pathway for voting rights to be completely destroyed as of right now in this country, especially ahead of the midterm election. And again, reminding you in this on this day of Memorial Day that was created by former slaves, honoring and celebrating those who fought for their freedom in the Civil War. Civil rights, again, fast forward into the 1960s, was a product of us fighting through Jim Crow and the nadir, but again has gone on to be something that even in this upcoming month of Immigration Month in Omaha, again, immigrants in a lot of the other communities, be it Asian, Indian, have benefited from those same voting rights, those same wins that we got, but yet here we are fighting for them again. So it's just one example of what we're dealing with. Also, there is a lawsuit coming out against a black doctor's website, which is quite interesting, but another example of the need to protect what it is that we're building and trying to navigate through this country. Before we get into that, did you have any input on this, Paul?
No, not really. We've been talking about this for a while, so of course, we can. On the other side of it for us is, there's some strategies there. The strategies that I've been thinking, hearing a lot about from people is about circumventing this. If these maps stay the same, then there's things that people can do. People are talking about moving
Hmm.
different spots. They're talking about voting, even in the spots that they're in, and using their vote in order to battle. There's a lot of things there that we can get into on how to battle some of those things. Those and also I just think about it happening in Alabama first and how that might trickle down to so many other places. We especially here we call Nebraska sometimes the Mississippi of the Midwest,
Hmm.
and anything that's going around like that is happening, and it's always the threat of happening elsewhere, hitting you first, hitting Georgia first, and then
Man,
Nebraska. You know what I'm saying? So there's a threat of those things out there. But again, we need to start looking at some things we can do there when it comes to the political power side. What it is that needs to happen in order for you to circumvent that, battle that. The vote's still the vote, and it really has to do with individuals as well, not just areas that they live. So something can be done, and we have to continue to talk about it and look into that. I'm sure there's some political strategists out there that have some better suggestions than what I'm talking about right now, for sure. We'll look into it.
man, but again, as we opened up the show with Sister Camera and the planning that she's doing with the Black Caucus, and even with Brother Qasim and his movements with the Black Agenda Alliance, we have to figure it out. We definitely have to figure it out. And I like what you're saying as far as some of the strategies, some of the creativity that people are meeting the moment with, because we are going to need that. And I definitely do appreciate what Brother Qasim had to say about planting a seed even in the last days, because
Mhm.
like brother Martin let us know, we are in a burning house. This house is burning, but we don't not plant seeds while this house is burning. You know what I mean? So as we see these things being undermined and attacked, we definitely have to continue to plant seeds, not just for political power, but for economic power, for man, health power. Let's get into the story coming out of BET, because you are right. It's not just happening in the South. Of course, a lot of these voting maps cases are coming out of states like Louisiana, Alabama, Mississippi. But the ideology, the kind of undergirdling of white supremacy bubbling up is not just happening in the South. This is actually, this story comes from a white Colorado dermatologist who was suing a black doctor website for discrimination. This reverse discrimination is something that deserves its own episode. Like we really have to, you know what I mean, dig into this ideology and this reverse discrimination. But this is actually being reported by BET of all platforms.
We
As far
understand
as
it's not black owned anymore.
that part. But again, the story is the story. As reported, a white Colorado dermatologist and a conservative medical nonprofit have sued the creator of Find a Black Doctor, which is a website that again helps people looking for medical care find a black doctor. But again, the lawsuit argues that the directory unlawfully excludes non-black physicians. The lawsuit, which was filed on May 19th in federal court in Manhattan, says the site's race-based listing policy violates federal civil rights law. Again, a tool that we fought for our liberation is now being co-opted and used against us. It's mind-boggling. However, the lawsuit was brought by Dr. Travis Morrill of And Do No Harm, which is a nonprofit group that opposes diversity, equity, and inclusion, called Do No Harm. Just wrap your mind around that. Um, Particularly in the medical field. Per Black Enterprise, according to the filing, the directory limits eligibility to black physicians and dentists in active clinical practice and denied Morrow's application because he is white. According to a statement from the organization Do No Harm, by excluding qualified doctors based solely on their skin color, Find a Black Doctor indefensibly robs some physicians of valuable advertising exposure and deprives patients of the opportunity to discover capable providers without regard to race. But again, just to lay out the common sense of it all, the reason a website like Find Black Doctors exists is because people who do not look like us historically and even modernly don't provide the best service to those who are black. So much so that it has been deemed or reported that 40% of current black or current doctors, nursing students still believe that blacks still have thicker skin and that black people still have stronger nerve endings, which means that our, like, do we have to talk about the black mortality rates of mothers trying to give birth? Like, we all know the dangers of black folks going into some of these clinical offices and hospitals and rooms. So again, we see it. we see it. I
Uh,
don't even know what to say. Go ahead, Paul.
yeah, that's what
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
because it was perfect. I'm sitting here like I really appreciate Buddy because you gave the big sigh, and then you was like, I guess in order to explain the I guess I'll go into because I was way past. I was way past. Like I ain't explaining this. If you listening to us and you don't get this, then I don't know what to tell you. But we are a news organization, and you are, and it does have to be explained. So I'm glad that your professionalism moved past your side to get into the explanation because I'm looking at
It
this
was
fool like
hard.
I'm just like look at this fool here, this fool here. Th- uh, uh, it is hard, bro. It is hard. We you were diving into mortality rates and like even just maybe I just want to have a black doctor and I can't really find them all the time. And so I might want to go to this site to say, hey, if I got choices in my doctors, I'd like to choose a black one. How many how many hundreds of years have white people been like, I need a white doctor. I don't want this black person working on me. It is so insane to me. And when I'm looking at this cat, I'm just like, this fool knows. This he
Dang
trying
on
to
well.
he trying to start some mess, bro. And get on a money grab. And why in the world? And it's just stupid. It's just so stupid. Here's what I would do if I was them. I'd keep the site up. I put the white folks on it and just have all the black folks just choose the black doctors on it. I mean, listen, let's just circumvent the foolishness. Put his stupid white behind on there and have enough all this have enough discussion to understand like what's really going on with this stuff, and then figure this out and figure this out. I don't know what else to tell him. I mean, because we're in a climate right now where he might win that case. That's the real crazy part about it. If we were in any kind of sane time, saner than now, it would be common. Some judge would be like, "Why did you even bring this in front of me? This is dumb." So, but no, we're not in that time. We're in a dumber time. This is dumb and dumber time. We're in a time
Idiocracy.
now where somebody about you're right. This is reverse racism. You put that white doctor on the list. Go on, put him on the list. So he don't get no business from that list. Go on, put him on the list then.
Like, it's the need to put themselves in spaces is just very interesting. Because again, it's called find a black doctor. Like, what makes you think even if you put your, yeah, it's quite interesting, but at the same time, it illustrates, like you mentioned, the time that we're in, and the fact that we do need, why we plant seeds in this burning house, to be strategic and to be wise about how we're moving. And again, this could, mean kind of be a canary in the coal mine, if you will, for organizations that identify themselves as particularly and specifically servicing black folk. That is a thing. Like, we do have to get creative in this time because of this reality that you again mentioned. These folks could possibly win this case, which is mind-boggling. But here we are. Here we are.
I'm gonna jump in the chat. We got some gems in the chat, brother. Stuart
Go
Knight.
ahead.
I ain't heard from you in a while. I appreciate you coming
Peace.
back in, man. Yeah, peace. He says, where did I lost? He said once a legal precedent has been set, whites will move to make that precedent universal.
Yep.
Interesting. Pops in the chat says Maya Angelou said being free is difficult as perpetual. You work all day long and wake up the next morning and the job's still to be done. Retaining freedom will always be an everyday job. There you go.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Brother Knight says the idea of reverse racism represents the inability of whites to openly practice white supremacy.
Mm-hmm.
Even though I don't know, I feel like they are absolutely openly practicing it now, and this is some other kind of dumb thing. This is something else.
It is. It's just mind-boggling. Like, how do you go from excluding us from your hospitals, so much so that we had to build our own hospitals. Like, I went to Florida A&M. My university was built on one of the only black hospitals in the state of Florida. So understanding that history intrinsically, again, Florida is not a small state. There was only like 2 black hospitals in that whole state. So to go from that to this, I do struggle to wrap my mind. I don't even know if I should spend a lot of brain cells trying to wrap my mind around it, but it does like boggle the mind a little bit. Like, what are y'all doing?
RG in the chat said, didn't that fool Kirk say he didn't want to be on flight with a black pilot? They probably they probably got a website. Find a black pilot. Find a white pilot. Stuart Brother Knight says, I need to study logic to see and argue against the logical fallacies they put forth to disrupt progress.
Man,
Again, man, I don't think that this is a tough one. I think that they're doing it I think they're trying to start mess. They're just trying to stir the pot. He says it will win due to race being the in the title. And again, like arguing logic with something so ridiculous, that's where the exasperation comes from. That's where Buddy's sigh comes from there, because it's ridiculous. Like, and it's ridiculous because we all understand something is real easy. We've been talking about it forever. Racism. They don't want to believe this is them trying to act like no, racism isn't systemic. There's no systemic racism out here. It just bypassing the whole definition of racism and what makes something racist, the power behind it and everything else. And it's just ridiculous. So again, how do you argue with ridiculous? You don't argue with ridiculous. You get exasperated because it's the logic is sound, is there. Everybody should know it, but they want to ignore it to start some mess. Sean McCarthy in the chat says the fact that this guy is focusing on this and not caring for patients is all I need to know about this guy. Put a rating system on Find a Black Doctor, and let's give him half a mic so that you can understand that he's ridiculous. Tony Johnson says lots of health rates are worse in North Omaha and other areas that are responsible, but the responsibility seems to be put on nonprofits to it. You got a point with them nonprofits all the time. I understand where you're coming from. RG says, and if we're being real, this is the same mentality that had folks burning down Black Wall Street. But yeah, if you want to buy black, then it'll come down to they'll drop bombs if you buy too much black. Brother Knight says because they want full right to denial because they're white. Don't argue Negro. Michelle Moreno says yes, he did say that. Anthony Rogers right in the chat. Good morning. Says black people can exercise white supremacy as well, for real, on a regular basis. That's what's been going on too. Clarence Thomas, Tim Crow Scott, and yes, according to Doc West, the minister Farrakhan, Barack Obama. Okay, you feel like all these people are exercising white supremacy. I'm sure we all have figured, all have dealt with that or done something in line with that, the way that we've been all raised and had to wake up. You always think about that term being stay woke as well, and how the iteration of like waking up from something. Because I remember seeing speeches back in Amir Baraka back in the day with screaming "wake up" or wait, and translating to like the '90s, Rage Against the Machine, "wake up," and here and now, and then we've been past this point of being saying, "Hey, wake up, shake out of this, wake up." You see what's going on around you, and then you get complacent, and so now we gotta stay woke because we can't just wake up. We gotta stay woke. And we're all the way on this other side of this thing where they talk about the woke mob,
the woke disease,
this woke disease that they're always talking about. They just don't want you to understand. They want to push this fact that racism is not systemic. They want to push this fact that there can be reverse racism. That they want to ignore the definition and the fact that there's power behind racism. It's just stupid. Pop says stupid can't be fixed, no matter how much effort you put into it. Brother Knight says, got to understand how whites view the world. I think we do. That's all we've been fed is how whites view the world. That's the one thing we know for sure is that part. Well, I love us to figure out how we view the world and how we are, like you were saying before about living in a what do you say, living in a Caucasian world with an African brain or something like
Oh
that?
yeah, yeah, yeah. We gotta remember to maintain an African brain in this European system. You know what I mean? And yeah, like all the things that are pushed, we can't adopt those things as far as like the concept of rugged individualism, which is, very intrinsic to American, society and how we operate. I'm gonna get mine, you get yours. You know what I mean? Everybody out for themselves. Like this rugged individualism is definitely something that is just an example. Is one of the many things that as American culture we kind of bought into that isn't really. If you study, we thrive in group settings, we thrive in villages, we thrive Ubuntu, like the laws of Ma'at and Sankofa and all of these principles are what they are for these very reasons. And
We
being
have
able
to
to
learn them
maintain
again.
that. We forgot. We
We have to
forgot,
learn
you
them
know.
again.
And I mean to the point where, I get called Farrakhan all the time by family members, and you know
Really?
what I mean? Yeah, yeah. I mean, I came back from college, like came back from HBCU, telling my people, like,
Wow.
man, speaking of my grandma, like having elders and having family members and like really trying to educate my so much so I'm doing classes at the African American bookstore. You know what I mean? Like really trying to educate. And that's why I feel where Brother Qasim was coming from. Like you get called crazy and all this, that, and the third, but the truth is the truth. And the truth will come out eventually.
That's interesting. That's
And
the first time I heard that was you. I wondered about that because I wondered about it happens to every a lot of people that go away to college and then come back and want to share something with their fam. You know what I'm saying? Like half the
mhm,
family's like, oh, okay, and the other half is like, well, you went away to that school and heard some mess. You
mhm,
know?
mhm, mhm.
Interesting, man. Yeah, that's interesting. I
It
realize that.
is. It is. But at the same time, this is the whole point of today's conversation. Like, even from within our own communities, like we got to continue to build and understand what it is that we dealing with. And, those who gonna support it. And those who not, they're not. And we just got to keep moving and keep building and,
Right.
be creative in how to, understand that the weapon will be formed, but it's not gonna prosper.
Bet. Saying that. 8:47 right now. If you believe in the concept of time, and if you're in Omaha, Nebraska, Tony Johnson in the chat says the criticism of my full comment was, yeah, I didn't finish your full comment. I apologize about that. He says the criticism of my full comment was towards the well-funded hospitals and not the nonprofits. The health nonprofits at North Omaha have shown their effectiveness in addressing health needs.
Man.
Yeah, I think they do a good job. I think there's always more needed. Of course, everything else gets much more well funded than the resources that we have. But like Brother Kasim said, we make it work without no money. It's really kind of it happens like that. And also we also have mechanisms to get money in and also build money up as well and build those resources up as well. So it might not be our lane to be the ones to go get that, but it might be another organization out here's lane to do it. Just interesting. Anthony Rogers Wright says, unfortunately, the plain text of the Title 6 of the Civil Rights Act gives these racists the ability to make their case. I'm telling you, man, he would win that case right now if he took it to court. Title 6 prohibits discrimination on the basis of race, color, or national origin in any program or activity that receives federal financial assistance. Yeah, you can make the case for sure. Um, Again, I feel like if we were in a different time, a judge might be like, "Get this out of here.
Mm-hmm.
This is ridiculous." But we're in a time where they're that it's more than likely that won't happen. So it'd be interesting to see what happens there. They refuse. This brings something up too that Anthony Rogers Wright is saying. If they refused to say we're not going to change our site, then federal financial assistance being taken away is one thing. Then they have to kind of deal with come with their own money for this program or whatever the deal is. But it's more than that now because we live in a time now they would be attacked. They'd figure out how to sue them. All kinds of things would go down. It wouldn't just be they would shut this. They'd have to shut it down. Like a lot of sites and a lot of things have been shut down. So
Mm-hmm.
Brother Knight says, yes, black people can practice white supremacy by remaining oblivious to how white supremacy functions. Okay, I get your point on learning how that functions. Anthony Rogers Rice says the white supremacists took the six and are turning it into a weapon against black and brown programs. Indigenous folks have found a way around it, and we should learn from them on this front. Solution. Love to hear that. Love to get into that. Let's talk about it. Also, Marlon Harrison said it's sad black people or any person of color can't have things to themselves. It kind of is. RG says, since we're talking about woke, the breakfast eatery I like to visit, Blackstone, used to have a woke omelet on the menu. Someone complained about that name, and now it's called the Wide Awake omelet.
Oh man.
Okay, that's what's up. Chat's going off. I definitely think we have only a few more minutes left. Oh, okay, it's not that bad. I got a few more I can talk about. Brother Knight says, "Got to remember their culture rules the world." Does it though?
Yeah, I have to push back. Honestly, I'm kind of seeing their culture lose stick and lose popularity around the world.
I can also see culture permeating the world as well. There's attitudes and things that are going. When we think about dictatorships, and there's a lot of right wing. I hear right wing a lot in other countries that I didn't used to hear that before. I thought that was mostly a term that U.S. was in England was using, but like other parts of the world have right wing dictatorships, leaderships now too. I mean, yeah, there's something there too. There's a culture that is permeating the world coming from this country. Interesting thought to go into. Tony Johnson says average profit of Omaha hospitals are 100 million plus for each hospital. Yeah, we definitely need more money. Brother Knight says look up Dr. Edwin Nichols to get a better understanding of the white worldview and what ours should be. Okay, look into that. Eros Road 2 says I get called furious. We get called fools and furious all the time for being passionate about what it is we looking at and believing. Pop says having a what is the best for the group mentality makes places like Japan so pleasant and peaceful to spend time in, as opposed to what is happening in America with the me first individual outlook. Man.
Oh yeah.
You're right. Absolutely right. I can only imagine. I've never been to Japan, Pops, but you've been telling me about it. I can only imagine being in a situation where it's a group mentality makes the place better, because all I've seen is this mess. Brother Knight says time don't matter when there's philosophy, when their philosophy rules. Yeah. Also, Brother Knight says materialism is just a single ideal. That's interesting to think of. It is just a single ideal for sure. Anthony Rogers right. Important to cite Justice Kennedy's opinion on race-based programs, laws that are demographic in nature and do not confer. Sorry, got blurry. Confer concrete benefits to any particular individuals would typically be subjected to rational basis review. A rational basis review is very lenient. And if there is any rational basis for the government action, it is constitutional. That's Justice Kennedy's opinion on race-based programs. Okay, interesting.
Yeah, so Supreme Court, again, it is an opinion. It's not a decision. So that is important to understand the difference between. But just kind of giving more, credence to your estimate that this anti-discrimination case against this Find a Black Doctors website might win, which also might lead us to think about, which is why I say so-called black and so-called white. Like we gotta think outside of that paradigm at some point as well, which will also change the conversation, because going back to the philosophy that's ruling internationally, I am starting to hear European descents, like those of Eastern European, kind of stepping away and backing out of this ideology and identity of whiteness, because whiteness requires them to a certain extent to go away from and to give up their Italian heritage and their Irish heritage and their Yugoslavian heritage and their Czech heritage. All of these are different groups. All of these are different nationalities, different ethnic groups with different historical backgrounds, different historical continuities, and you know some don't want to give that up for this concept of whiteness
Mm.
that is permeating the world now.
Interesting. 8:55 right now. If you believe in concepts of time, we appreciate you guys bearing with us through the end of the show. Thank you for all your comments, your questions. I definitely want to get into a couple of things, buddy. Is there anything that we can wrap up here on this particular thing you wanted to get in before we get out of here?
There actually was a few a few stories I had lined up for this time, but I will say just to wrap up the idea because maybe we can get into this in later episodes. As far as this $1.8 billion settlement, also going back to maybe some of their philosophy breaking down because there is a rift in the GOP as far as the Grand Old Party and MAGA blocking this $1.8 billion attempt from Trump to set up this fund. Some people are looking at their own political agendas and futures at this point. What does that mean? And what does that mean for us as far as, the big grift still happening? Even though there is a block right now, Trump still attempted to steal basically $1.8 billion from American taxpayers, but also following the money stateside. What's happening in Nebraska as there is a lawsuit against Governor Pillen's administration for how they're using the Environmental Trust Fund. Some are saying they're using it as a piggy bank to solve problems that they created. So still following the money. And of course, that bringing that up in the context of what we're talking about as we see tax dollars getting grifted, being spent and wasted. We got to really think about building our own and really, think about what that looks like, what that means. How do we secure resources? Because we see what's going on, on the different levels. So there's that. And we can jump into what you got thinking about in the last 4 or so minutes.
Well, that last thought that you're talking about, I'd love to dig into that more on Wednesday. This way that they're using that environmental trust as a piggy bank is kind of big news on both sides of the aisle and everywhere else right now with that for a bunch of different reasons. Of course, we live in a state where there's going to be less emphasis on environmental anything. So they kind of felt like that's some money they can dip into and play with, and we got to talk about that in a real way. So we'll talk about that a little bit more on Wednesday when we have our other special guests come on. As a matter of fact, we got a week's worth of guests. Chris Baby Boy Bowling, who's actually written some things on this stuff about environment, will be joining us on Wednesday. Yeah, it'll be a good conversation to get into with him in a real way. And then Amanda Kephart from Film Streams is going to join us on Friday for our Love Supreme Friday. So it'll be a very interesting and cool set of guests coming through, some of the fam, and we'll get down to some of the rest of this. But before we get out of here, man, just wanted to give a shout out to Assembly of the Saints, Pastor Ballard. Speaking of News Gang, he jumped into the News Gang situation too here with him putting together his podcast. I highly suggest you go over there and check it out. Pastor Ballard is doing this over at Assembly of the Saints, and one of his first guests over here was Joanna LaFleur from the Malcolm X Memorial Foundation, and they had a discussion just recently based on some of the things that they just met about the multi-million dollars that's going into the center and what it is they're building there. So highly suggest you go check that out. And I'll put that on your like the page over there too, so you can keep getting Pastor Ballard's Assembly of the Saints podcast. Definitely check that out. There's going to be more to come, and it's going to be very interesting. Also, wanted to give a shout out to the North Omaha Visitor Center. We've been talking about it all show and how important it is, and we mentioned that there is that it's a place where it's like the Black City Hall. And Marlon Harrison in the chat earlier said he was there with us the other day when we were there. And he got noticed because of his Channel 7 interview. Somebody sat down and said, "Hey, somebody passed by and was like, hey, didn't I see you on TV?" And said that they talked to Marlon. That was what was up. But yes, we've been talking about that place for meeting, a place that is for us. We call it the headquarters again. Kimber Snipes is over there on a regular basis. When she's not there, it feels funny because she's always there. So it's almost like it's almost like she comes back to messages from people calling calling the center for her. And it's the spot, but it's also a spot that they have turned into a spot that it sustains itself by having the coffee shop there and having a small area in which they sell local black owned goods. And I highly suggest you go over there and check that out. More and more, I'm spending money in that area too. So utilize the place. If you have a meeting, call and try to find out what the rate is. The rate's pretty cheap for you to have a meeting there. It's a very important spot to do that. They accommodate things well. And again, and if you don't have meetings there, you can also help frequent the place and just come by, say hi, and make sure that you make it the headquarters for yourself as well, and spend some money over there too. Let's keep that show going over there. Buy a coffee. I get some essential oils and things over there from that little store they got there. Some all kinds of different little products that everybody has. Shower bombs, all kinds of stuff. So definitely go frequent that. And it's one of those spots, man. Very important spots. Matter of fact, the legendary Kathy Hughes was in town last week and stopped by there. And as you can see, she's there with the legendary Johnny Rogers. They was rolling around, and I definitely had to come by and see Brother Love and check out the spot. So they got a picture with her standing with her picture there on the wall. And if you don't know who Kathy Hughes is, what's wrong with you?
Man, what's wrong with you?
Yeah, she's one of our idols in a big way. Started radio in Omaha and now owns is the proud person of the empire of TV One, News One. Yeah, she's she's doing it big these days, and it all started here. So they honored her on the wall there, and she was able to come through and see that while she's still around, giving her flowers while she's still here. So shout out to them. Like I said, all the important things that's going on around town is happening over there at the North Omaha Visitor Center. I highly suggest you get busy and go over there and help sustain it as well, and just be a part of it. This is one of the times in history it's going to be like, remember that spot? That was the spot.
That's it. That's it. That's how we protect what we build, man. By patronizing it. That's one of the main things. You gotta show up. You gotta support it. Which is also, I see Tony Johnson in the chat giving a shout out to Eric Ejiki of Noah. We were talking about health a little bit, and shout out to Noah as well. I definitely want to give a shout out to them before we get out of here. North Omaha area health. Yeah, man, they get down as well, man. And we all we got, but it's enough. We're building. We're definitely building while things seemingly are burning down. Planting those seeds, as Brother Qasim said. But let's keep watering, let's keep supporting, let's keep building. So
let's do it. We're trying to build right now with our content creator camp. As a matter of fact, Marlon Harrison says, I forgot to mention at the top of the show, thank you, buddy, for a great class this past Saturday for the content creators camp. Appreciate that.
Thank you, man.
And also we're down. We got the last class. May 30th is coming up. That's the last class. And I'm very excited about the projects that are coming out of this class right now. It's kind of right up my alley, man. I can't wait to hear the audio pieces with the sound design on it and all the stuff that's going on from our students. So yeah, just really appreciate everybody who is participating this time around. And again, if you're interested, hit us up at firstsky@gmail.com, and we'll send you some information on the fall content creator camp class that we're putting together now. So. And a lot more dates to come as well. Chat Chimers Kickback. We don't have quite a date yet, but today's our day. We're trying to lock that date down. So pay attention to Friends of First Sky Omaha so you can see what date that happens. And all the other events. Fun Fest is coming again this year, and all the other things that we're doing. Stay tuned for some of those announcements as well. But yeah, this is what's going on. We'll see you Saturday for the last day of Content Creator Camp, Spring 2026. It's going down, and I appreciate everybody that's coming. Marlon, I appreciate you coming through, even though you were from another class, and just your energy coming through, and your assistance, even the way that you were brought a source for Brother Christian to look up was right on time, right on point. So we appreciate your participation as well, and can't wait. The Saturday it'll be Chris Baby Boy Bowling, and Margie from Weberize is going to come through and teach the last class. So it'll be a fun one. I can't wait to see the progress in the programs and the audio pieces. It's gonna be real super fun. Can't wait. Yep. Appreciate you. We'll go ahead and get out of here, buddy. You got some words for the people?
Yeah, big shout out, much love to Brother Qasim for coming through and taking time out of his busy schedule. Thanks to the ladies for fitting us in. And yeah, man, definitely tap in with the BAA support, because we all we got, but I guarantee you it's enough to get the job done, man. So big shout out to all those rolling up their sleeves, getting busy, getting in the dirt, getting their hands dirty. You know what I mean?
There you go.
Planting them seeds. That's what it's about. So we appreciate you. We love you. We thank you, as always, for your support and what it is we're doing here. And catch the same time, same place. Again, we're winding down this season, but we're winding down with a bang, man. A lot of guests to come through. Definitely excited for some of the conversations we have in store for the rest of the season. So look out. In the meantime, between time, follow us on Friends of First Guy Omaha on Facebook. Also join the membership on firstguyomaha.com. Click the join button. Become a member today. And without further ado, Paul B, take it away.
Man, you can also follow us on Instagram. We definitely are on LinkedIn as well. A couple other places you can follow us. So we'll keep you updated on some things that's going on. And again, the biggest thing is hit us up for our newsletter. Our newsletter is called the Weekly Wrap. I'm going to go ahead and put the link in the Weekly Wrap newsletter here because before we make any changes, we definitely are putting that on the Weekly Wrap first, and then you get the changes on social media second. So we are making moves all the time because of the situation with the social media. Mm-hmm. It is one of those things where we have to stay on top of things. I think the newsletter and the website is the place that you go to first. If you ever are confused about what's going on social media with us, don't wait on social media. Go to the website. Go to make sure you get the newsletter to hear all the announcements in any place that we move and go, and whatever's happening with any events and stuff like that too. We'll be there. So yeah, we're definitely moving in the direction to centralize what's going on our website more because of just what happens with the fluctuation of all these social media channels. And we'll try to meet you where you're at all the time. But for official news, definitely hit firstguyomaha.com. That's where everything's going to be at in the future, from now on, really. So I appreciate everybody coming through. Earlier, I missed Pop's comment earlier. He says, the last time I played football, I was 15, and my dad insisted I play flag and told me if I played tackle and come back with a broken leg to say nothing to him about it. if I came back with the broken leg, that cracks me up. It's so much in that comment. First of all, it's interesting that Grandpa wants you to play flag, which is different from, the little cats back in those days wanted you to go out there and get tackled. So that was forward thinking that he wanted you to play flag football. And then it's also real funny because that's how a black parent will do too. If you come back with a broke leg, then don't say nothing to me about it. You just hobble around here. Don't say, don't want to hear about it.
Mr. Park, he actually broke a leg too.
he actually broke a leg too. Of course, they got it taken care of, but yeah. Yeah, man, that's hilarious. A hilarious story. I appreciate that. He also says, thanks for starting off our week well. After each show, all I can do is smile. Can't start the week off any better than that. See you all on Wednesday, God willing, and the creek don't rise. Appreciate you, Pops.
Thank you. Much love.
Much love. Shout out to the Omaha tribe elders for allowing us to be on this land and speak while we're here. Shout out to our elders for allowing us to speak before you. Shout out to you, the chat chimers, allowing us to speak with you. And to go 7-8 minutes past our agreed upon time. We appreciate you sticking with us there as well. You make that adjustment when we go past the agreement. So I really appreciate that. He said, I didn't say anything for 3 days. I was around for 3 days. He said, well, he said, don't say nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man, yeah, that's hilarious. I forgot about that story. Appreciate you, Pops. I appreciate all of you. Thank you. Do us a favor, share the show. You can do that even after we're not live. And the conversation also continues on Friends of First Sky Omaha, the group page on Facebook, when we're not live as well. Other than that, we'll see you Wednesday when we're talking to Chris Baby Boy Bowling. So stay tuned and also take care of yourselves. The weather's going to be nice and warm out here today for the next couple of days. So dress accordingly. Get that air conditioner on and working. Take care of yourselves, and we'll talk to you Wednesday. Peace. Nope.
By the way, Vanglorious. This is protected by the red